mark. 8 minutes, stations, 8 minutes until this broadcast from IMG College.
Michigan IMG Sports Network. Stations, if you're having a problem, you can call our radio affiliate hotline at area code 336-464-0228. That's 336-464-0228.
Tony?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Can you hear Don?
No.
Okay. Hold on, I'm going to change something.
Check. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Great to have you along tonight, live from O'Kelly Sports Bar and Grill in Mount Pleasant. The Chippewas will be on the road this week as they head down to Oxford, Ohio to take on Miami University. We will be on the air at noon with our countdown to kickoff with Jim Costa, and then we'll get started at 1 o'clock. Game also on ESPN3. You can also catch it on the Max Sports website as well on Saturday. So the head coach of the Chippewas, Dan Enos, will be here. We'll talk a little bit about the season so far and preview the Red Hawks of Miami, who head into that game 0-4, but they've had a very difficult schedule. And the Chippewas, of course, 1-4 after that loss at North Carolina State. Shamari Bent will be here, the outstanding linebacker from Central Michigan. We'll chat a little bit about all the tackles he and his mate, Justin Cherokee, have made so far this season. And Kyle Nystrom, who coaches Shamari and has some other duties as well for the Chippewas, will be here. Then we'll turn our attention to field hockey. Head coach Christy Freeze will be here, along with one of her players as well, Abby Roth. We'll chat a little bit about Central Michigan field hockey and much, much more. So keep it right here. Much more ahead, including the head coach of the Chippewas next, right here on CMU Sideliners, presented by Fabiano Brothers, proud distributors of Bud and Bud Light. We'll be right back on the Fabiano Brothers Central Michigan IMG Sports Network.
Want to turn heads? Showcase the flying C on your
So
license
audio's
plate.
fine on your end. You guys, you're good? Okay.
I sound good.
On your
Rob,
ride.
Rob, you don't have any complaints back there, right?
Nope, sounds fine to me.
Chance, can you hear what I'm hearing in your headset? Sports Network, Fabiano Brothers, proud distributors of Bud and Bud Light. Back on CMU Sideliners, joined now by the head coach of the Chippewas, Dan Enos. Good to see you.
Hey, Don. How's it going?
Excellent. Let's talk about your week so far. Tell me about practice so far this week.
Been great. You know, just like last week, we kind of went back to the camp mode Tuesday and Wednesday. Got very physical, very competitive against one another, and felt it was very spirited. You know, I think our guys are working, and we're very excited about just getting into MAC play now, and you know, more than anything, just we're just very, very much looking forward to winning a football game. So we've thrown everything we have into this week, and look forward to playing on Saturday.
You hit a little more last week in practice heading into the NC State game. Did you see those results that you wanted? I know the score wasn't the result that you wanted, but you think that helped heading into that game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it did. I think it refocused our guys. I thought, again, at times, Saturday against a very, very good team, I thought we were physical, and I thought it paid dividends. And as I told our guys before the game, I say just because we practice more physical or, whatever we do in practice doesn't guarantee us we're going to win every one of our games. It just guarantees us we're going to continue to get better. So we said, hey, work this week and then come back next week and we'll go back at it and work just as hard. And we have not let up. It's been a very, very good week.
The danger of doing that is that you may get some guys banged up, get some injuries during practice. How's that going?
It's been, knock on wood, hasn't been an issue. You know, our guys are pretty good as far as learning how to practice. And the big thing is the guys have to be mature enough to understand they got to stay on their feet, and you can't cheap shot. You know, your teammates. If a guy's not looking at you or something, you got to take one off. I think those are two big things. And the other thing is usually in practice when guys get hurt, it's because two guys are in a individual tussle, and one guy ends up throwing another guy, and they end up hitting a third guy that had nothing to do with it, and that's the guy that ends up getting rolled up. So our guys have been told, and they understand how to practice, that you can't allow those types of things to happen. You got to stay on your feet. You got to be physical. Use your hands. Get off blocks. Stud up the backs. We go live just a little bit, not too much live stuff, but overall, the competitiveness of it really raises the energy at practice.
I was going to say, and that's something you talked about, staying on your feet, the way not to get hurt. You've been coaching these guys for years that way, so they've heard that message time and time again, right?
Absolutely. You know, with the young guys, there's always a learning curve because they get in there and they want to lunge off the ball and be out of control, or not quite, understanding about staying on your feet. And so the young guys, you got to kind of get on them. But the good news is now that we're to a point where the older players are already on them before the coaches get on them about staying on their feet, practicing the right way.
That's one of the nice things about this team for you is you built up the depth. You have guys that have been in the program now for several years. And you talked about it last week where they called the players-only meeting, where sometimes you don't have to say it because they're doing that for you, aren't they?
Absolutely. These young men they're great. They're great young men. They work very hard. They want to be 5-0 right now. It hasn't worked out that way, but there's no change in our attitude or how they work. They're a great group. We had academic progress reports first came out last week, and it was amazing how well our guys are doing. And there's not guys missing classes. It's just been unbelievable. They're a great group. We're going to continue to push them to get better, and we're going to get off the schneid Saturday, get a win, and get this thing moving forward.
Part of that goes back to recruiting for you, because I know when you're looking for recruits, of course you go on guys that are talented, but you place an emphasis on kids who are captains, that have shown leadership, that are good students, that
Yes.
are good people, and so I think when they get here, that really pays off.
Absolutely. And the other thing is we're in the business of graduating players. So we got to. No matter what happens on the field right now, our staff is very diligent every week in our academic progress, our meetings, and making sure that we're doing more. We wear a lot more hats than just coaching football, but we got a lot of ability on this team. There's a lot of good people on this team, and right now it's just we got to continue to mold. And the big thing is right now we're desperate. We got to find a way to win this Saturday, and that's all we've been talking about all week is beat Miami. Beat Miami. How are we going to beat Miami? Let's prepare and get in the right mindset to make sure we play our best game Saturday.
Talk about the Red Hawks here in our next segment as we preview them and your old buddy Don Treadwell and what's going on down there. One of the things I think gets lost a little bit, and you touched upon it, is for every Antonio Brown, somebody that goes to the NFL from Central Michigan, there are 30 or 40 guys who are going on and going to have to go get a job and lead a productive life and so on and so forth. So I know one of the things you take pride in is not only trying to put a good team on the field, but also building young men.
That's, the number one reason why I coach is to have an effect on young people. I mean, that's why I coach. That's why I got into this. Obviously, the football part of it is a ton of fun, and it's great, but even the better parts are watching these guys come in and watching them mature. Even a guy like Zerlon Tipton, for example, a young man that when I got here was, a little less than stellar with some of his personal habits, and he'd be the first one to tell you that. And to see where he's at now, he's a great leader. He's going to graduate, all those things. And there's been a lot of guys like that. But yeah, we want to, just having the linebackers here tonight. You hear a guy like Tim Hamilton stand up and say he's a math major with a chemistry minor, and so on and so forth. And the maturity of these guys and how far they've come. Even Justin Cherokee, he was a handful now when he first got here. Let me tell you that. He was Coach Nystrom had to lock him down after his first semester academically, but he's been outstanding ever since then. And these guys grow and they mature, and that's part of our job is to help them make sure they get on the right track.
Let's talk a little bit about the game at NC State on Saturday. And with the turnovers we had the previous week and the loss, I know one of the big concerns for you coming into that ball game was not to turn it over. It is every week. We talk about it every week. And then right out of the chute, worst case scenario, you get a pick six. Is it tough to fire everybody back up and bounce back from that thing?
You know what? We had a big kickoff return right after.
Courtney's return, right?
Big return, and you know what? I was like, here we go. And then on the first play, they blew a coverage. And we had Ben McCord wide open on the corner route. And if we hit him as he's running, he may score. At that point, we end up throwing it, and he stumbled, he fell down, dropped it, and we end up having a punt on that drive. But, it was disappointing. But the great thing was that the very next play, that kickoff return sparked our team, and we were right back at it. And next thing you know, it's 7-0. We have a chance. We're down there. We don't capitalize on our opportunity. Then we get the ball back. We move it all the way back down there again, and we miss a field goal. Those are the things that bother you as a coach. It was like, okay, Cooper made a mistake. Everybody rallied around him, and then, we got to continue to make the plays. So, again, they scored 28 points in the second quarter last week. It was just, it was bad. It was just things spun out of control, couldn't get it back. I thought in the second half, I thought our guys really competed. We had it 38-14, and we blocked the punt, and we had the ball down there, and we threw a pick in the end zone, which that one I don't mind, that pick, because that's a 50-50 ball to our best player, and, we're trying to get a score to make it 38-21. So I told Cooper, he came off, I said, hey, man, that's a 50-50 ball to our best guy. Their safety made a great play. Those things are going to happen. It's the other ones, where he doesn't see a guy or makes a poor decision. Those are the ones that bother me. But every once in a while, you got to take a shot. And so there were some things we did on defense in the second half I thought was very positive, and some things on special teams we did as well. So there was a lot to build off of in my humble opinion, and we move forward. And that's what I told the guys on Sunday, and that's been carried on this whole week.
Well, you warned us last week. You said this is a very good defensive line for NC State. We saw that. I mean, it was real difficult trying to run the football and get that kind of balance that you wanted to do when you had those guys in your backfield.
They're very talented. We knew that going into the game. Clemson really struggled to block them as well. And when you look at that, you go, okay, but we had opportunities we didn't capitalize, and then Cooper got hit too much too. They were good. They were getting pressure, just bringing four guys, and then they're out there harassing your receivers and those types of things when they don't have to blitz people. And again, as you know, I always tell you this: when you become one-dimensional, it becomes very hard, and it becomes hard on your quarterback too, especially when he's a freshman and playing against those good people. But we got to get back to being balanced. I thought Maurice Shoemaker came in the second half, provided a spark. Ran hard, and he's gonna earn himself more carries this week. And he had a good week of practice. So did Anthony. And then Sailor Lavalle's had his best week of practice. And sometimes it takes another guy carrying the ball a few times and to change your mindset. But I think all three of those backs have had exceptional weeks.
Tell me about Mr. Shoemaker-Gilmore and that little burst that we saw in that 38-yard touchdown run. And one of the things you saw when you brought him to Central Michigan? Yeah,
that's exactly what we saw. We saw a guy that was explosive. Even last year, we redshirted him, but it was between him and Saylor, who would be the freshman that would play out of those two. We didn't need them both. And Saylor ended up just being a little bit ahead of him based on the fact that he learned the protections a little better. So we redshirted Maurice. Then we moved Maurice to corner in the spring, because we needed help over there, and we had Zerlon and Saylor both coming back, and Anthony Garland coming back, and we were trying to get Maurice on the field because he's talented, and he did it. He's a great young man. And then, going into the camp, I just said, hey, what do you want to play? He said, Coach, I want to be a running back. So I go, you just told me that stuff because you were just trying to be a team guy? He said, yeah, basically. I said, just be honest with me. He said, yeah. So we moved him back, and he's had a good camp. And Saturday he showed a burst, and not just on the touchdown run. We ran a one-back power play the next time he got the ball, and he hit it. He didn't check his feet in the hole, hit it, made a nice cut. And, again, I think he's going to be a guy that's going to just get better and better as the year goes on. He's earned himself more carries.
Competition is a good thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. And like I said, it's Saylor had a great week. And, not that Saylor's not going to play anymore, but sometimes it's kind of funny, these running backs now, these guys. I don't know. They're a different breed. But I coached them, and for some reason – when there's another guy that goes in the game and gets some yards or scores or whatever, they have a tendency the next time they go in, they run a little bit harder. I don't know why that is, but
gets their attention.
It's like they don't want someone taking food off their plate or something. I don't know what it is, but they're a real competitive group, and it's good for everybody.
When you guys went back and you looked at the tape from NC State, what did you see that you were happy with, the things that you did well, and you talked about the second half of playing better?
I thought our defense was very physical in the second half. We gave up one big play in the second half, and besides that, I thought they tackled well, and I thought our defensive line did some good things. Our defensive tackles had their best game, in my opinion. And then offensively, I thought Maurice came in and played very well. And then I thought Titus Davis continues to play very well. Anthony Rice came in and did some good things, again, I know it doesn't show up from the stats. Cooper Rush did some good things. I mean, he made a third down throw in there. He got lit up and hit Titus Davis on a shallow cross.
I remember the one you're talking about.
And we scored on that drive.
Yep.
But that was a third down conversion where he didn't flinch, and he got a defensive tackle bear down on him, hit him, and he didn't flinch and put the ball right on the money. And you know what? Those are things that we're gonna reap the benefits of that as he gets older. I mean, those are good things, and those are good signs. When a guy's not flinching, he's hanging in there against a defense like that. And when the sledding's really tough in there, he's hanging in there and making throws. Those are things we can build off of.
Especially as you talked about, and you played the position, so you know this. When you know you're getting beat up all game and you're still able to hang in.
You got to, people always go, he's getting hit. You can't even worry about that. If you play that position, you got to be like, I don't even know what's going on. If I'm going to get hit, if I get hit 50 times, so be it. You got to bear down you got to get your eyes on the right spot. You got to hang in there and throw the ball. Doesn't matter how many times you get hit, and that's the mentality you have to have, and that's what the great ones have. They have the ability just to get hit, and not worry about it and not flinch. That's the thing about it. If a guy starts flinching, he can't play, and that's why I always tell people how tough the quarterback has to be, and they laugh at me because they go, "Oh, you play quarterback, so you biased. You better be tough. If you're going to be good at that position, you're going to be a tough guy, mentally and physically."
What are you seeing from Cooper? Obviously, he hasn't had a lot of playing time. For a young guy, there are challenges at quarterback. How's he doing with the things that normally a young quarterback struggles with?
He's doing pretty well with a lot of it. It's like I told somebody the other day. I wish we had a team where we could run for 280 yards a game and we could hold everybody to 3 points that we played. Then he could go out there and hand off the ball the whole game and manage the game, and we would win. You know what I mean? That's not reality though. So we got to have our quarterback play, and so he doesn't have time to grow up or grow into it. He's got to come out. He's got to make plays on third down. He's got to make play action throws in the windows. He's got to get the ball outside on first down, second down. He's got to get us in the right checks in a run game. So we're force feeding him things because that's what we're going to need to do to win. And you know what? That's tough. But as we tell him, deal with it. Tough luck. So that's kind of our motto around there. And he's handling it very well. He's very resilient. He's got thick skin. He's played this position his whole life. Guys that have played the position their whole life know that there's ups and downs and there's goods and bads. And, he's playing Division I college football, and he's a freshman, and he's a starting quarterback. So I'm sure he's very excited about it, but I'm sure some days it's us like, woof, I didn't know if it was going to be like this either. So big thing for us is that we can get him – we got to get him a clean game. We got to get him a nice, clean game. No turnovers, take care of the football, make some plays on third down, get a win, and then we can build off that and continue to get better this year.
Final question before we head to the break. Is he having those, I like to call them aha moments, where all of a sudden something clicks in? You've been talking to him about it. He sees it on the field, and then he's got it. Next game he's not going to do that, or he is going to do it.
Absolutely. A lot of it's been with his feet. He had a tendency when he got here, he was real lazy in his drops and lazy in his feet, and you can kind of get by in high school just kind of floating around back there and throwing the ball, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you can't here. You got to get back, get your feet set. You got to move in the pocket very quickly, very decisively, and you got to make quick decisions and quick throws, and your feet got to come with you. You can see a huge improvement with him. It still needs to get better, but those are things that we see every day from him. That's stuff that Coach Watts works with him every day about. And the other thing is that I think he's learning that things change. A lot of times, when you're in high school, whatever, you see a coverage, and the coverage is like that the whole game, right. Or there's maybe two. In college, you play a team like North Carolina State. Well, on video all week they did, but they didn't do it just then. So you got to understand things change. Blitzes change from week to week. You may see something new, and so on and so forth. And I hear guys in the NFL talk about all the time when the rookie quarterbacks go to that league now. Now there's even more stuff that get thrown at him. So Cooper's going through some of those growing pains, but the big thing is we got to help him. We got to help him on special teams, help him on defense, and we got to get back to being balanced and running the football and taking some of the pressure off of him.
All right, well, that's obviously the game plan for Miami on Saturday. Coach will stick around. We'll come back, talk about the Red Hawks next. Remind you that this segment was presented by PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC, PNC Bank for the Achiever in You. Back with more on the Fabiano Brothers Central Michigan IMG Sports Network after this timeout.
Bud Light presents.
After intense exercise. Chippewas and Red Hawks coming up this Saturday down in Oxford, Ohio. You guys will leave tomorrow, head down there. That's a bus trip, right?
Yes.
You're excited to get down there and see an old friend in Don Treadwell. You know him from your days coaching at Michigan State. You guys are kind of in similar situations. You were on that staff and you both got head coaching jobs. Tell me about that relationship and how difficult it is when I would imagine, when you see each other on the opposite sideline.
It's difficult. We played them last year, obviously, and games against friends, I call them. They're not fun, but it's part of the deal, So he's getting his team ready to kick our butt. I'm getting our team ready to kick his butt, and that's how it goes. But you couldn't find a better person, better coach. Him and his wife Lola are great friends of Jane and I's, and they're great people. He's an outstanding coach. He's a great person, but we got to get ready to kick his butt Saturday. So
well, he might want to have a chat with his AD down there because that schedule early was brutal. You were telling the people here about it. You look at some of the teams they played. They haven't had a lower level school, if you will, and they've been playing schools from big conferences. They even haven't had a MAC game yet. And that's one of the reasons why they're 0-4.
Yeah, they've had a very difficult start, especially with a team that's as young as they are. They lost some very good players from their team last year. Zach Dysert, who I thought was one of the best players in our league really the last 3 years with the Denver Broncos. Mm-hmm. Outstanding player. So, you get a guy like that, it's very difficult to replace a player like that. And, and they've had their best wideout is not with them any longer. They lost some linemen, but they did get Austin Brown back, their defensive tackle, who missed last year, got a fifth year. He's an outstanding defensive tackle. Dwayne Nunley on defense is very good as well. And Austin Boucher, their quarterback, played some games down the stretch when they won the MAC championship when Zach got hurt. I think Zach had ruptured a spleen or something in a game, and Austin came in. Coach Watts was actually the coordinator on that team, and so they've got some pieces there. I think they're trying to find their identity. I know they're looking at this as the start of their season. I'm sure they said their 4 preseason games are over now for them, and that the real season's starting. So that's the way we're looking at it as well. Is that we got a 7-game schedule, and we want to be 1-0 after this week.
Big home game for them. Special uniforms, special helmets, the whole 9 yards. Boucher's an interesting kid. In fact, when he came into the season, he was 4-0. Every time he came in, he won a big game, it seemed like.
Yep.
And he's been struggling so far this year. What's going on with their offense? Because they don't look like the same Miami team to me that I saw last year.
No, they've been a throw it team, throw it first with Zach. This year they went to a little eye bone and read option, and they've been doing lot of different things. I think they're trying to find themselves. I hope they don't find themselves this week. Let's put it off for a couple more weeks. But I think they're trying to find their identity and figure out what they're going to do. Like I said, they've lost some good players, and I think they've got some young guys. They're trying to figure it out.
When you look at this team and you look at their defense and what you want to do offensively, comparing them to NC State, an opportunity here to run the football and get things going on the ground?
Yeah, I think one of the keys of the game is going to be us controlling the line of scrimmage offensively and running the ball and winning on first down and getting us in second mediums and, getting in some third and shorts and staying out of third and long. So I think there's some they're playing a freshman corner, and, the other corner, Nunley, is very good, but I think there's some matchups in the secondary we can work at. And we got a PCP, as we call it, pound, chips, pound, and run that football.
Miami is a team that when you look at stats for the NCAA, they're at the bottom of almost everything. And I think that's a great indication of who they played.
Yeah, it's so difficult early in the season, to figure guys out that have to go to Illinois and play, go to Kentucky to play, and, do all those types of things. It's difficult sometimes. And we go off what we see off tape, and I see a very well-coached team, and they're going to play very, very hard. And it's going to be a dogfight. As I told our team, it's going to be like two dogs in the alley fighting over the same bone, man, because it'll be two desperate teams. And, they're going to get our very best, and I know we'll get theirs.
Is this one of your games when you look at it during the season? You've got a tough couple games coming up here when you look at Ohio and Northern Illinois and on the road at Ball State. You've got an opportunity here against a winless team that maybe you can go down there and get up early and continue to roll. It can kind of turn around your whole season, can't it?
Just find a way to win, Don. That's the big thing this week. Find a way to win, then worry about next week. That's what we constantly talk to our guys about. Put everything we have into winning this game. But, yes, we need to win. That's like I told our guys, when you win, the sun looks a little brighter on Sunday. The food tastes a little better. The pop you're drinking tastes a little colder. You know what I mean? Everything's a little better. So let's just win, and then again worry about the next games as they come. But we got to play well. We can't turn the ball over, and we got to run the football.
Tell me about the health of your team now. You come out of NC State, and early on it's been a horror show for you with injuries, but it seems like things are starting to get a little bit better anyway.
Yeah, we should be basically like we were against NC State. We won't have Matt Lozanecki back. Hopefully we can get him back next week. I'm hoping that he feels better next week. And Cody Cater's tossing the ball around. I wouldn't say he's throwing it, but he's tossing it. That's a good sign. I think.
How do you go from tossing the ball to getting ready to play again? How long of a time frame is that?
I don't know. I look at him, and the last couple of days, I think his arm looks a little faster, and looks like he looks more comfortable throwing the ball. So
is that simply building up strength again?
That's what the trainers had said, is that his strength levels are low right now, so he's got to get back up to where he was and where he could take a hit again. So hopefully we'll get him back at some point here in the next couple of weeks. But him and Matt are really the two on the docket that we'd like to get back.
Gotcha. All right, give me keys to getting a victory here down at Miami.
I think we've got to run the football, for 150 or more yards, win the turnover margin. I think we've got to play very well on defense. I think we've got to stop the run on defense and try to make them one-dimensional. Find a way to get it playing special teams. Last week we had a big kick return, and we didn't capitalize on it. But, we need to do a couple things like that with our punt return game and our kick return game.
Okay, coming up is Kyle Nystrom, one of your coaches, and say a few words about Kyle and what he brings to the table for you. You ask him to do quite a number of things for you, don't you?
Yeah, Kyle does a great job. He's a great recruiter. He's an outstanding coach, a great person. You know, his whole family's here with him tonight, and I've known Kyle an awful long time, and he does a great job. You know, and you know we do a thing where I had all the players pick a mentor from our program. You know, I listed coaches, staff people, you know, just a lot of people that touch our program. And I asked the players to write down their top 3 choices they would like to have as a mentor. You can't pick your position coach. Pick somebody. And this is just a credit to Kyle. He must have had 40, 50 kids.
Really?
Pick him. And what that tells me, that there's a guy that's having an impact, not just on the linebackers or the defensive players. There's a guy that's having an impact on the entire football program, because the players and not that he's their friend either. That's the big thing. People say, oh, you know, they like him because he's nice to them. No, Kyle gets after him pretty good. But they got to know you care about them. That's what's real important. When you coach somebody hard and you discipline them, they got to know there's a love and respect there, and they know that's there with Coach Nystrom.
One of the guys he's bringing with him is Shamari Benton, one of the 18 linebackers you've gotten out of Brother Rice High School down in the Detroit area. Tell me about Shamari, and you know, we know about his tackle totals and where he's at in the MAC and second on the team and all that. What makes him so special?
He's a captain. What a great young man. You know, Shamari was here when I got here, and really just done a tremendous job the last few years. Last year you saw him get better and better as the season went on. He ended up being one of the MVPs of the bowl game. Played outstanding in the bowl game, and down the stretch last year for us. He's played very well for us this year. The last couple of weeks in particular, he's played very good. Great leader, great student, going to graduate, and he's going to be very successful, whether it's playing football or whatever he ends up doing in life. He'll be very successful, very mature, and outstanding young man.
Well, good luck Saturday. We'll chat after the game and talk about your big win, okay?
Absolutely, Don. Look forward to it.
Head coach of the Chippewas, Dan Enos. Fabiano Brothers, proud distributors of Bud and Bud Light. We'll be right back with more on the Fabiano Brothers Central Michigan IMG Sports Network.
Bud Light presents NFL Fan Dilemmas.
Should I put these Bud Lights on your tab?
Just supposed to get this round. But on my rounds, we play better.
YP app, YP.com site, and YP Real Yellow Pages directory. You can find everything you're looking for locally. It's everything you want all in one place. Kyle Nystrom is here. He's the assistant head coach in charge of special teams and the linebackers. Welcome. Good to have you here.
Good to be here. Good to be here, Don.
Tell me about the young man you brought with you.
Shamari Benton.
Yeah.
He's our starting sandbacker. He's been starting for 2 years. When we first got to Central, he was a freshman. He just finished his first fall. Is that true, bud?
Yep.
Yeah. and got him when he was a baby and watched him grow up and a lot more ways than just on the football field. So it's great to have him here with us.
Shamari, welcome. Good to have you here. Tell me about Brother Rice High School. What's with you guys producing all these linebackers?
Oh, man, it's a great tradition there, playing for Coach Fracassa. It's definitely we have more than just linebackers, but seems to be the trend around here bringing us in.
Yourself, Justin Cherokee, Tim Hamilton, and what about the competition between you and Justin? It seems like you guys, each game in and game out, I look at the tackle total, one's number 1, one's number 2. You guys seem like you're in on a ton of plays.
Oh, yeah, we just try to go out there and play with toughness and effort, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many tackles we have, we're just trying to go out there and do the best we can.
What about this group, Coach, when you have somebody like Justin and Shamari? Is your defense built to funnel a lot of tackles to your linebackers so they have to be some of your better players?
Yeah, because you're just playing with 2 of them in base defense as compared to a lot of 4-3 structures where you have 3 backers in there. When the formations get tightened down and you have 2 backers in there, they've got to be able to play the run pretty good, and they've got to be physical and know where to get lined up and do their job. So that part of it, if it becomes a run game and an inside hard game, it's a little more stress on those two. Yeah.
What about this formation that you've had a chance to work in here for a couple of years now as a linebacker, Shamari, with 2 of you on the field? What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, playing in the 4-2-5s allows us to get more speed on the field, and sometimes the gaps open up for us, so we just try to make the plays that we can.
When you look at your success here at Central Michigan and what you've been able to do, what do you attribute it to?
Oh, great coaching, from Coach Enos to Coach Tumpkin and Coach Nysham. Just going out there and playing with enthusiasm and the toughness and the effort that they instill in us, we just try to bring it on the field.
Good answer. Sounds like somebody who is a senior and a captain and all that good stuff. What about that honor as being, to be a captain on a team?
Oh, to be the senior captain, it means so much to me. For my best friends that I've made over the years, to elect me as a leader of them, it just means so much, and I'm just trying to do the best.
Kyle, when you look at this group and we go down and, we only get to see 2 of them at a time, it's got to be tough for you as a coach. You got a lot of guys who have a lot of talent. I always have other players tell me about Tim Hamilton and how good he's going to be. We don't get to see him much because you can only put 2 on the field at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard to get playing time, and that's Division I football. And as your program gets better, it takes longer to get out there. The days of running a freshman and a linebacker, we're not going to see that. It typically takes probably 3 years before you get to the field if you're established with the depth in your segment, and that's where we're at. So, but they all get to play because they don't all make the season. They don't get through every game of the season without getting nicked up. So they all get to play. But for the guys that don't start, they're not playing as much as they want to. So there's always that battle, and that's just like I say. That's tough luck. That's football, man. If you want to play, that's up to you, not me. Like I tell them, I said, my opinion of you as a person has nothing to do with it. Our job is to win football games, and in order for that to happen, we're going to put the best players on the field that can do the job the best. It's got nothing to do with what year you are, if coach likes you, if coach doesn't like you. We're putting the people out there that we trust to do the best job that they can do and take care of it in the best manner possible. So, playing time, it's up to them really, and that's how we go about it. But we do have some good depth. I'd like to play more people than I have in the last couple of games, but our situation where we've been in the game so far this season, there's not been a lot of flexibility to do that.
When we see a Cody Lopez, when we see a Tim Hamilton coming to the ball game, is it getting these guys a blow? Are they nicked up? Or a certain situation? What's going on there as far as substitutions?
Mostly just to let them play and keep these guys fresh. I think so far this year, I'd say these guys between Shamari and Justin, they've been running anywhere between 40 to 60 plays. Really, with them getting above 40, I don't really like them to get above 40. In the past, we've run 78 plays and stuff, and that's not good for them to get that. And we're finally we're to the point where you can play Tim and Cody and Kyle and Ricketts, and you can trust that they'll do a good job out there, and spread the play numbers out so that you're fresh and you have energy to finish the game.
All right, Coach Nystrom and Shamari are going to stick around. We'll talk a little bit more after this quick timeout right here on the Fabiano Brothers Central Michigan IMG Sports Network.
Rediscover recreation at Morey Courts in Mount Pleasant.
Jim
8
Carr.
full-size basketball, volleyball courts, 3 racquetball, and 2 tennis courts. It's real easy. And the Adult Fitness Center offers state-of-the-art equipment, free evaluations, personal trainers.
Don Shido with Shamari Benton and Justin Cherokee. I'm trying to look it up here. I wrote it down earlier today as we get ready for the game. Justin, number 1 in the MAC with 55 tackles, 5th in the country. Shamari, number 3 in the MAC with 50 tackles. Pretty potent 1-2 combination for you guys. Is this something that's carried over since high school, Shamari?
Oh, yeah. We've been playing together since high school, and Justin's been getting a lot of tackles for a long time, so it's something that we're definitely used to.
When you're looking at a team like Miami, Justin, and you've got to face them, you know they're going to run the football quite a bit, and you're going to have your face in the fan, as they like to say, a little bit. You do anything different this week? Get ready for that, knowing that's going to be a long game for you?
I mean, just pick up the tempo in practice and just make sure you get your keys down and do your part. So,
I would think you'd like playing a team like that more than somebody who's going to spread you out and throw it all over the place, huh?
Yeah, you definitely get more active parts, so it'll be exciting.
Tell me about your success so far this season with the ability to get all the tackles that you've got. You were way up in tackles last season as well.
I'm just doing my part of the defense, and that's what I focus on, so just trying to get the win.
Shamari, what's more fun? Big hit, interception like this past week? What's more fun for you?
I mean, that's a tough one, but I got to go with interception. I don't get too many of those.
Are you surprised when you see the football coming your way like that? Because it doesn't happen very often, does it?
Oh, yeah. When I get one, man, just don't drop it. And I finally grabbed one. I think I got 2 so far in my career. So,
do you get graded on the return on the interception, or the guys when they look at it on tape later?
I hope so. I hope Coach never grades me on that.
Maybe you never played any running back, huh?
No, just strictly defense here.
All right, tell me about this group, Justin, and where you guys go from here. You've had stretches where your defense has played very, very well. How do you get to the point where you improve that consistency a little bit?
Just make sure everyone gets the ball and get in and watch film and just make sure you know what you're doing and do your part.
And when you look at this defense, you guys have some talented guys all over the place. I look at your secondary, and you've got Jason Wilson back there and Avery Cunningham. It's got to help, Shamari, knowing that that back end is pretty solid for you.
Oh, yeah. It gives us a lot of confidence knowing that those guys have our back there. And just allows us to play a little bit faster, and they do a lot of great things with their communication and things of that sort.
Justin, what about what's happened on that defensive line? You guys have had a lot of injuries, and you've been moving people in and out. You were rotating people from day one to keep everybody fresh. How does it change what you do at all when you know you got different people coming in there and the D line's kind of changing a little bit?
It doesn't change anything. We know they're going to do their part, and we just focus on doing ours. So.
Okay, out of all the teams you faced so far, Shamari, who's been the toughest? Which one presented the greatest challenge for you?
Ooh, that's a tough question, but Toledo's a tough team. They did a lot of things on offense, and preparing for them, just gets us at practice is a little bit extra, hard fought. So that was a tough game for us.
Justin, what about you?
I'm gonna have to go with Toledo too. Definitely a different mindset going into practice and game time. So,
Mid-American Conference game, and I know that's a little more special for you. And give me the mood around this team, Shamari, right now, headed down to Miami, knowing that this is one of those key games, kind of a mid-season game, a chance for you guys to turn it around a little bit.
Yeah, going to MAC play gets everyone back excited, but coach is really trying to focus us in and going 1-0 this week, and trying to get the noise out and just trying to get this one win to get us going.
Well, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Justin, Coach Nystrom bailed, and you had to throw that. I know you weren't prepared. You did a wonderful job as always.
Thank you.
Good luck this Saturday, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, thank you.
Justin Shiroki and Shamari Benton, two outstanding linebackers for the Chippewas, who take on Miami on Saturday. We'll be on the air at noon. Kickoff at 1 o'clock on the Fabiano Brothers Central Michigan IMG Sports Network. Back with more after this quick timeout.
Bud Light presents NFL Fan Dilemmas.
Should I put these Bud Lights on your tab?
Just supposed to get this round.
Back on the CMU Sideliners program, presented by Fabiano Brothers, distributors of Bud and Bud Light on the Fabiano Brothers Central Michigan IMG Sports Network. This week's Members First Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Week is Grace Lebrecht of the women's soccer program, a native of Battle Creek. She earned a 3.78 grade point average as an exercise science major. She earned a pair of wins between the pipes for the Central Michigan soccer program over the weekend to help the Chippewas open 2-0 in Mid-American Conference play, something they're very familiar with. Junior posted her 5th career shutout in the MAC opener at Kent State Friday behind a 6-save performance before holding Ohio to just 1 goal in a 2-1 victory to snap the Bobcats' 6-game unbeaten streak. Grace Lebrecht, this week's Members First Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Week. Members First Credit Union making a positive difference now with 2 locations here in Mount Pleasant. All right, joined now by the head coach of the Central Michigan, Christy Freeze. It's great to have you here when we talk about field hockey and this team. You're finally glad to be back home in Mount Pleasant and actually have an opportunity to talk about a home contest here.
Exactly. Saturday, we're home at 1 o'clock against Ball State, so we open up the conference. It'll be a big weekend for us.
Tell me about the early start of the season for you and being on the road so much.
Well, I think our team handled being on the road very well, and I think the hardest thing is just the recovery from week to week, and not only recovery field hockey wise, but really academically, and this what obviously helps is that our team does a nice job academically, but it is a challenge.
When I talk to coaches about their teams when they've been on the road quite a bit, especially early on in the season, it allows quite a bit of bonding because they can't go anywhere else.
Right.
They're always together.
The good news is we're always around them, so that we like that part of it.
How's this group coming together?
Well, I think it is coming together really well. We have 7 seniors, and I think that our seniors really do a nice job of really making sure the young people in the program, sort of know how to get things done. And, so you're right. I think we've spent the past month together, so maybe it is good we're here this week and we can all be in separate rooms Friday night.
A little alone time for a while, huh?
Right.
All right, tell me about the young lady you brought with you tonight.
Well, I brought one of our seniors, Abby Roth, and Abby plays in the midfield for us. But, Abby's a very versatile player. We've put her up on the forward line at times. We know we can put her back on defense. And she's just a really good hockey player. So she's giving us some good minutes and some good leadership on the field this year.
Abby, welcome. Good to have you here.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Tell me about this season so far and how you've been doing and what your goals are here going forward.
I think as a team, we're really growing stronger together, and this week has been a real solid week of practice. Traveling has been difficult because it's been 5 weeks in a row, but it's good to be home, and I think we're really settling in, and as we start the conference, I think we're looking up.
All right, Christy and Abby are going to stick around. We'll take a quick time out, come back, we'll chat a little bit more. Is that okay?
Yep, thanks, Don.
All right, little field hockey talk, and we come back right here on CMU Sideliners, presented by Fabiano Brothers, distributors of Bud and Bud Light on the Fabiano Brothers Central Michigan IMG Sports Network.
Bud Light presents NFL Fan
Clear.
Dilemmas.
Should I put these Bud Lights on your tab?
Just supposed to get this round.
So, Ball State at home, and then back on the road for 4 more, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Wow.
good luck when I buy Jeff's beers. But I don't want to buy Jeff's beers.
This is the
John?
last year like that.
Yeah. All right, Christy Freeze is here as we talk a little field hockey, and Abby Roth as well. Ball State here in Mount Pleasant coming up this weekend at 1 o'clock on Saturday, right?
Yes.
Tell me about the Cardinals.
Well, I really think that they're a bit on a roll right now. I told our team today that Ball State's coming in with a lot of confidence. They've won 2 in a row. They had the offensive and the defensive player of the week. So I think they're coming in here feeling that they are definitely a different team and a more experienced team than they've been in the past couple of years. So they're going to be a battle for us, but I think our team will be nice and ready for it.
Abby, always nice to come off a win, 2-1 victory in overtime against UC Davis, and that always helps have a little momentum, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. I think as a team, it really just showed us what we wanted and what we really striving to do. So get this win this weekend, hopefully.
Where's this team at compared to your many years here at Central Michigan at this point in the season?
Well, it's probably hard to say because I think from a coaching standpoint, sometimes I think you're never satisfied. So, the kids were real excited about the win on Saturday, and maybe the coaches were a little crankier about some of the things that we needed to do in the game. But, I think I think that from a coaching staff point, we really believe a lot in this team. We feel that we've got good players all over the field, and maybe that's why we're really, always really never satisfied. And sometimes we need to be careful that we have to make sure we're pushing the kids in the right direction. And but they've worked hard this week. They've done a great job, I think, working on the game plan that we want to put in against Ball State, because I think we need to pass the ball a little bit sooner. That's the type of team we are. And I think we have to be a little bit better in our offensive circle, get our shots off a little quicker.
Well, isn't that the perfect scenario for a coach? You get a win, but
right.
You have all those teachable moments you get to go back to, right?
Exactly. Well, it is definitely a lot easier to talk about the win, win and then talk about the game versus the loss. So,
Abby, you ever get to the point where you say to coach, but we won? Come on, we won.
Sometimes.
I think Abby likes to say that.
Yeah. You're a marketing major.
Yes, sir.
You have already secured employment.
Yes,
which is
sir.
fantastic. Congratulations. And
Thank
you're from upstate New York, right?
Yes.
And you're headed back that way after CMU?
Yeah, I never thought I would be, but I am.
And you're from a really tiny town, so Mount Pleasant seems like a metropolis to you, doesn't it?
It really does. It's about 5 times the size of my town.
Tell me about your time here at Central Michigan. When you leave this program, what are you going to remember most?
I think I'm just going to remember the culture and how everyone is just there for each other as a whole athletic community. Like, we support each other and we're growing and improving each and every day, and that's what I want to strive to do in the future.
This team, with this group of seniors, I would think that's kind of a luxury for you, isn't it?
Well, it is. I think that, at the end of the day, when you have kids on the field that have been with your program for 4 years, your hope is that, they're actually more of the coaches on the field too. And I do think we've got that out there. Like I said earlier with Abby, I think she had a little slow start to the season because she was injured in preseason, and it's been nice that we've been able to get her back on the field because I think she's an important person for us.
When you're getting ready for an opponent, and we know how some of the other sports prepare, people probably know how they prepare in football and basketball and some of those other sports. What about field hockey? Are you doing the same thing? Are you breaking down tape and going through that?
We are. We have a couple areas that we like to break down the tape and really just look at that with the team. Our one focus is, coming out of our defensive end, the free hits that we have and the press that the other team puts on. Another focus for us is when they're coming out of their end, what kind of things are we doing to pin them down in their end? I think those are two of the main areas, and then on the offensive corner and the defensive penalty corner, we
30
look at
seconds.
those two areas.
Okay. Well, Abby, congratulations on your time here at CMU. Stay healthy, okay?
Yes, I will.
Enjoy the rest of your season. And, Coach, always good to see you.
Thanks. I appreciate being here, Don.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
All right, that's going to do it for CMU Sideliners Field Hockey again Saturday at 1 o'clock here
15.
in Mount Pleasant. Don't forget, CMU football Saturday afternoon will be on the air at noon on the Fabiano Brothers
10,
Central Michigan IMG
9,
Sports
8,
Network. Have a great night,
7,
everybody.
6,